Welcome back, everyone, to Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders. This is Betska, the Guru Coach, and Raj, and our esteemed guest today is Esther Charlie. And we've been having a very robust conversation. I want to tell a delightful story. I was creating some TV shows on First Nations art for international television, and so I asked around, and this Indigenous gentleman said, "Well, that house on this corner, right, in the reserve, you can go and knock on their door. He's an elder, and maybe he can help you." So I just thought, wow, I just knock on their door, and he said, "Yeah, you just knock on their door." So I went and knocked on the door, and this woman opens the door, and she's never seen me, doesn't know who I am. She said, "Welcome, come on in, have some tea." I went, "What?" It was just, I was so shocked. So I timidly, I took my shoes off. I went and sat down on the couch, and this Indigenous woman was just welcoming me and asking me who I am and why I was there. And then her husband walked into the room, the elder, and so I asked him if he would say a prayer, if I could film him as an elder saying a prayer to open the program. And again, I give thanks to the Almighty Creator for that opportunity to be welcomed into this gorgeous home, and so we became friends. And after the TV show was over, yeah, I invited them all to come to our home, and I served them vegan treats. I don't know if they knew what vegan was, but anyway, they came all beautifully dressed up, and they watched themselves on TV, and they were so proud of what they'd created, right? It was very special to me. Anyway, I'm using this as an example of creating safe spaces, as you were saying, both of you were saying that we see this type of suppression all around the world. Australia is another one, right, with the Aboriginal people there. And so it's time that we create more safe spaces for people to gather together, to work together, and create opportunities for dialogue, or create opportunities to share ideas on how to raise our children. Or, I'd love to learn more about First Nations ways of teaching their children. So, Esther, excuse me, what types of safe spaces can we create to discover mindful wellness practices that are anti-oppressive? What have you done, or what can we do?
I think I mentioned already, Betska, around educating yourself around the history of Indigenous people and understanding um, the impacts that that's had, the generational impacts, and taking opportunities to participate in Indigenous Day or Aboriginal Day, the Orange T-shirt Day. One of the ones that's close and dear to my heart is the Missing Murdered Indigenous Women and Two-Spirited, May 5th. That's coming up around the corner. It's understanding the meaning and the importance behind this. I appreciate you sharing, as much as our people have gone through, the generosity of our people and wanting to share still is huge. And I think that's the lens that I come from. And having worked with non-Indigenous organization in the past few years, which all my previous work to that, I've worked with our people and in Indigenous organizations. So, kind of being a fish out of the water and the only brown face in that organization, it was about sharing Indigenous informed teachings. So, I mentioned earlier that I've been blessed with teachings that I've picked up and I use. And I always acknowledge where those teachings come from. Some of them I don't know or can't remember. I just know that they work for me. And I find people that are open and willing to share those teachings with non-Indigenous people so that we can start to address the racism, the injustice. Uh, I call it white privilege. Some people don't even know that's uh, what that is, right? Um, and will probably never. Some may never want to understand what that is. It's just so automatic that because of the color of your skin, you're going to have access to and support for, whereas an Indigenous person, even walking into the hospital, has not been a good experience.
Oh,
Who
wow.
our people have experienced racism when it comes to RCMP, child and welfare,
Yeah.
the prison systems, there's so many layers to it. So when you ask, okay, what can we start to do, the education piece is important,
Yeah.
being
Right.
inclusive, providing that understanding, and going back to mindfulness. We all just need to slow down a little bit and pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to what's happening. How is our interaction going? As I sit here with the both of you in modern technology via Zoom, can I stay connected with you both to notice things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
check things out, but always ask permission. So when we're educating ourselves or wanting to learn more or participate, you think about the powwows that happen across nations.
Yeah.
Everybody's
That's fun.
welcome to come to those. There are certain cultural
Yeah.
events that it's not meant for everybody. And we need to be mindfully respectful of that and say, okay, I understand. Not ask why. This is the way it is.
Right.
We can be curious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Curious about that. So why can't we? Right?
Raj, do you know what a powwow is? Whoa, you come and visit us in Canada, and Esther and I are going to take you to a powwow. Wow. I've been to so many. The First Nations will gather, and many of them will come from different nations, US, Canada, and so on, and the dancers compete.
Oh,
One of my favorite dances is the jingle dance, right? Where the women wear their little metal tubes, I guess, or I don't know how to, like a bell, and they dance and they jingle, and oh my God, it's absolutely fabulous. And the men wear their big feathered hats, and it's lots of fun, and there's great food. And I think you hit on a really important one. Let's encourage as many people as possible to go to those powwows and even travel to go to powwows, because watching those children dance and be so proud of their culture and hearing them speak their language is really cool to me. I think it's awesome.
And I
Yeah.
think I just want to say that that's how far we've come from the residential school experience and what the intention was to wipe out the Indian problem.
Yeah.
Well, when they dress in their regalia, and just for you to know, Betska, that the jingle dance is a healing dance. So
Oh.
those dancers dance for the people. They dance
Oh
for the
my
people
goodness.
and they're praying all the time. So it's interesting you're attracted to that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in my profession, I'm a healer too, as an executive and life coach. So maybe that's why I'm attracted to it. But the children were the ones who uh, warmed my heart, and I guess by doing these activities, as you said, going to the Orange Shirt Days and to the powwows and to the missing and murdered Indigenous women's on May the 5th, go whenever there is an Indigenous First Nation celebration to go. And, you know, I have one final question for you. Is there, I don't want to be rejected by the Indigenous people for who I am or whatever. And I'm wondering, how can I or how can other people, what can we do so that the First Nations people can trust us? Because a lot of trust has been broken, right?
And I think I mentioned this earlier. It may not happen in our time, right?
Okay. All
But
right.
I think it's, again, how we mindfully show up, how we respectfully provide that space, that
Right.
we always ask permission to touch, to come into somebody's space, and to know that whatever the response is, that's not about you. That's about the individual they're at.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right.
some people are going to be very open to it. Some people have a lot of hurt and anger and hate, right?
Yeah.
And there will not be no acceptance or inviting or openness from some people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I think that needs to be, people need to be mindful of that.
Okay. Well, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you can see my tears, but I'm very emotional about this. And what I want in my heart is to stop humans feeling superior to each other, because that's what has caused all of this. And so, Esther, thank you. You're a delightful woman. I pray to the Almighty for you, that you continue your great work, and may you be given all the resources and all the talent that you need to help your people to rise up and feel equal. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you both. Thank you
Thank you.
both. It's been an honor and pleasure. And thank you, Raj, for your insightful questions. And Betska, you're amazing at what you do. And I thank you for inviting me and reaching out to come and share a little bit about where I'm at and what I bring.
Thank you.
Well, and if there's any way we can support you, just let us know. And Raj might even hop on a plane. You never know.
That would be awesome. There you go. Okay,
Thank
you
you
have
so
a
much.